Many villains are not remembered by their vicious acts, but by their haunting words.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 supervillain quotes from movies.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
For this list, we'll be exclusively focusing on iconic quotes delivered by supervillains in feature films.
Excuse me, Chief. I got something here you might want to see.
Number 10. Hail Hydra, Captain America, the first Avenger.
Hail HYDRA.
When taking down an evil Nazi organization hell-bent on world domination, it's best to attack the group from the ground up. Hydra's treacherous overreach had never been so apparent until their commanding officer uttered these significant words.
Hail Hydra.
Hail Hydra!
Hail Hydra!
The Army's true terror didn't solely rely on their individualized strengths, but their overwhelming masses, undying loyalty, and collective resolve. Super soldier serum or not, this scene indicated that it was going to take a lot more than just Captain America to take down this deeply rooted terrorist group. Even 70 years after the Red Skull's demise, Hydra is still very much alive.
Thank you. Come here. Hail Hydra.
Number 9. I'm not a comic book villain. Watchmen.
You know we can't let you do that.
Do that, Rorschach? I'm not a comic book villain. Do you seriously think I'd explain my masterstroke to you if there were even the slightest possibility you could affect the outcome?
This comic book movie went meta way before it was cool for comic book movies to go meta. Rorschach and Night Owl's encounter with the omnipotent Ozymandias went anything from smoothly. But just when you think the movie is set to enact the classic villain spills their master plan trope, it decides to do a complete 180.
But the greatest practical joke in human history.
Killing millions.
To save billions.
Instead of enabling himself to be backed into a corner, the brilliant tactician shines absurdity on the self-incriminating plot device, thereby stepping outside of its fantasy-based world and poking fun at according films. Number 8. The Heart, Osborn, Spider-Man.
The cunning warrior attacks neither body nor mind.
Tell me how!
The heart, Osborn. First, we attack his heart.
It's been said that talking to oneself was only for loonies, but after this chilling mirror conversation, we're kind of inclined to believe that. At his wit's end on how to bring about the demise of his webbed nemesis, Osborn receives some more advice from the little voice inside his head.
What do I do?
Instruct him in the matters of loss and pain. Make him suffer. Make him wish he were dead.
Coinciding with true villain nature, Osborn resorts to a plan that will destroy his opponent emotionally and from the inside out. This scene became so relevant to the character as it depicted his complete decline into the insane Green Goblin persona.
What do you want?
To say what you won't. To do what you can't. To remove those in your way.
Number 7. Permission to Die. The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
The only villain capable of defeating Batman both physically and mentally, Bane is by far one of the most menacing of Batman's villains.
Oh, your buddy!
After having learned Batman's true identity, Bane breaks the Dark Knight and brings him to the Pit, an ancient prison described as the worst hell on Earth. As if that wasn't bad enough, Bane personally sees Bruce Wayne off, vowing that in Batman's absence, Gotham City will burn and there's nothing that Wayne can do to stop it.
Then you have my permission to die.
Of course, spoiler alert, that doesn't happen, and Batman returns to throw Bane's line right back in his face. Of course, it sounds a lot better when Bane says it, but who cares?
Tell me where the trigger is. Then you have my permission to die.
Number 6. Ready for another lesson? Iron Man 3.
Some people call me a terrorist. I consider myself a teacher.
America. Ready for another lesson?
Criminals break the law. Villains simply make their own. Regardless of the movie's unorthodox use of the character, or lack thereof, The terrorist organization leader known as the Mandarin painted a multifaceted portrayal of himself during his PSA to the land of the free.
You know who I am. You don't know where I am. And you'll never see me coming.
The Mandarin's distrust of America and its tainted history led to his destructive resolve. The motives behind the fear and unrest he sets out to cause has actual context behind it, forcing you to consider if there's actually such a thing as heroes or villains after all.
Where is it?
Whoa, he's here. He's here, but he's not here. He's here, but he's not here.
What do you mean?
It's complicated. Hey, it's complicated,
It
right?
is.
It's complicated.
Number 5, wake you in the middle of the night. X-Men.
Doesn't it ever wake you in the middle of the night? The feeling that someday they will pass that foolish law, or one just like it, and come for you and your children.
We're not so different, you and I. What makes the bouts between the X-Men and Magneto so interesting is that they're all one and the same, simultaneously contending against a world that hated them more than they did each other. This line from the metal-bending mutant not only humanized him, but made his character more sympathetic as well.
I feel a great swell of pity for the poor soul who comes to that school looking for trouble.
You might even find yourself kinda rooting for him. Despite their methods, Charles and Magneto have always wanted the same thing. However, they've come to realize that working alongside each other just isn't an option.
You know this plastic prison of theirs won't hold me forever. The war is still coming, Charles, and I intend to fight it. By any means necessary. And I will always be there.
Number 4, Loki of Asgard, the Avengers. Some villains just know how to make an entrance. Asgardians aren't commonly known for their modesty, and while the God of Mischief was previously featured in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it was in this film that he set out to reintroduce himself.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Loki.
Armed with the Chitauri scepter, Loki steals the Tesseract in order to enact his plans of stripping the Earth of its freedom, whether it be born from his inferiority complex to his brother Thor or his severe delusions of grandeur. Loki truly believed himself to be the world's savior.
The Earth is under my protection, Loki.
And you're doing a marvelous job with that. The humans slaughter each other in droves while you idly fret.
Number 3, dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. Batman.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? What?
A signature catchphrase needn't be necessarily significant or meaningful, just make sure it sounds badass. It's beyond even the capabilities of Batman to explain the Joker's motivations, yet there's reason why this line has become so synonymous with the Clown Prince of Crime.
I always ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
Revealing it to be the last words he tells all his victims gives testament not only to his lunacy, but also for his need for theatrics. Crimes that don't deliver a spectacle have never been the villain's style, giving such a quote so much more relevance to the character. Number 2, kneel before Zod. Superman 2.
Rise before Zod. No. Kneel before Zod.
Don't make him ask twice. Villains often tend to make harsh demands of their enemies, but hardly are they ever as arrogant and narcissistic as this man's, or, this Kryptonian's. Disregarding the fact that this alien terrorist had the audacity to refer to himself in the third person, he required Superman, along with the whole human race, to kneel before him to feed his overinflated ego.
No one who leads so many could possibly kneel so quickly.
This satirical order has allowed Superman's arch-nemesis to become something of an icon in his movie universe. Even though the line might sound pretty straightforward on paper, General Zod totally sells it with his domineering presence and delivery.
Come to me, son of Jor-El! Kneel before Zod!
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
How ironic, Tony! Trying to rid the world of weapons! You gave it its best one ever! Pepper! And now, I'm gonna kill you with it!
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Everything they've built will fall! And from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one!
Number 1, Why So Serious? The Dark Knight.
sticks the blade in my mouth. Let's put a smile on that face. And... why so serious?
Time to put a smile on that face. Between the Joker's illustrious story on how he came to inherit his mutilated face, or Harvey Dent's dismal outlook on good and evil, you begin to get a sense that Gotham City is kind of a tough place to grow up.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
A true villain's one-liners are meant to deliver the sense of true terror and helplessness, a trend that this masterful performance from the late Heath Ledger did so well. By completely redefining our perceptions of what a villain should be, this quote easily tops our list. So, do you agree with our picks? What supervillain quote sent a chill up your spine? For more dastardly top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Very disappointed.